Y'all are not gonna believe what just went down in the rap world. If you thought this Drake versus Kendrick beef was over, fam, it's just getting started. And Kendrick just made a move so bold, so unforgivable, even the OGs in the game are shaking their heads like, he really did that. Word on the street is, Drake thought he had the last laugh. After months of lyrical jabs, slick Instagram captions, and club appearances where he threw hella shade, Champagne Papi was out here celebrating like he won the war. But behind the scenes, Kendrick Lamar was plotting in silence, and what he just pulled off. It's a certified career checkmate. Sources close to both camps are saying this ain't just about rap anymore. There's family involved, secrets exposed, and a betrayal so deep, even TDE is questioning if Kendrick took it too far. But Kendrick, he's not backing down. It's playing chess, it's not checkers, and he just sacrificed a whole piece to put Drake in check. Fans are shocked. The industry is divided, and Drake, let's just say, he ain't smiling no more. Grab your popcorn because what Kendrick just did might change hip-hop forever. Drake ain't smiling no more. The man who once stood on that Vegas rooftop, champagne in hand, laughing off Kendrick's diss like it was just another Tuesday night, has now gone radio silent. Insiders close to his camp say Drizzy been pacing around his Toronto mansion, phone glued to his hand, jaw clenched tighter than ever. He thought the storm had passed, thought the Heart Part 6 was the final word. But Kendrick had other plans. What he just did has the whole culture gasping. It started with a whisper, just a few cryptic tweets from Kendrick's longtime producer, Soundwave. Nothing crazy, just emojis, a chess piece, a flame. Then the number 3. Nobody really knew what it meant, but fans started speculating. Within hours, Reddit threads were blowing up. Kendrick got one more move. He ain't done. Drake thought he survived, but Kendrick's still loading. What came next? Absolutely no one saw coming. A week after Drake dropped a surprise verse on a French Montana, leaked subtle, dismissive, almost smug, Kendrick went ghost. No posts, no responses, just silence. And then, boom. An anonymous IG page popped up, followed by top industry heads. Within minutes, clips started leaking. Security cam footage, grainy audio, old texts. And in the middle of it, Drake, or at least someone that looked like Drake, saying things that were never meant to see the light of day. Turns out, Kendrick ain't just been working on tracks. He's been compiling evidence. And the drop wasn't music kit, was a short film. Shot, edited, and narrated by Kendrick himself. 30 minutes of raw, emotional storytelling. The title, The Owl and the Dagger. And let's just say, fans weren't ready. In the film, Kendrick breaks character. No metaphors, no riddles, just real talk. He opens with footage from 2013, an unreleased cipher from a private studio session, where a young Drake and Kendrick are freestyling, laughing, vibing, brothers in the game. But as the video plays on, the tone shifts. Kendrick tells the story of betrayal, of how he once looked up to Drake like an older brother, of how that admiration turned into resentment. And then he drops the bomb in one of the most emotional scenes. Kendrick plays audio of a phone call from 2017. Drake, allegedly talking to a third party, calls Kendrick to militant, to self-righteous, and says he'll never cross over. He ain't got the smile for it. The clip ends with Kendrick staring into the camera. No words, just pain in his eyes. Social media goes nuclear. The hashtags #the owl and the dagger and #Drake lied start trending worldwide. Some fans defend Drake, saying the call was probably fake, manipulated. Others say it doesn't matter, what matters is the intent. Kendrick felt betrayed. And now he's telling his truth. But that wasn't even the wildest part. Halfway through the film, Kendrick interviews someone blurred out, voice distorted. The person claims to be a former OVO employee, one who handled sensitive matters for Drake. In the interview, they alleged that Kendrick had been blackballed for years, that certain award show performances were pulled at the last minute. That industry pressure came from a Canadian camp every time Kendrick tried to push certain narratives. Fans started connecting dots. Old rumors, canceled shows, surprise features that never came out. Suddenly, everything had context. And then came the real twist: family. In the closing minutes of the film, Kendrick drops a name no one expected to hear: Sophie. Not Sophie, the mother of Drake's child. Different Sophie. Sophie D, an old friend of Kendrick's from Compton. Someone fans had never seen before. Kendrick reveals that Sophie was once a close friend of both him and Drake, back in the early 2010s when they were all coming up. But according to Kendrick, something happened in 2016, something that changed everything. The screen fades to black. Then a voice recording, Sophie crying, telling Kendrick she made a mistake. She says Drake promised her protection. Promised her she'd be set for life if she kept quiet. But now she's tired. Tired of the secrets. Tired of the silence. And then just before the video cuts, a single quote from Kendrick: "You can lie in your songs, but the truth don't need a hook." With that, the screen fades to white. No outro, no explanation. Just a quiet piano loop. And a message: to be continued. Within minutes, hip-hop Twitter is in flames. Celebrities start chiming in. Cardi B posts a side-eye emoji with the caption, "Damn." Questlove tweets Kendrick playing a whole different game. Even J. Cole, who's been radio silent for months, likes a post that reads, "Drake underestimated the quiet ones." But the most shocking reaction came from Drake himself, or rather, the lack of one. Drake's story goes dark. No posts, no comments. No response. His team issues a vague statement calling the video edited propaganda, but it only makes things worse. Fans start dragging Ovo for being too polished while Kendrick is giving raw soul. The narrative starts shifting. The culture is now split straight down the middle. Ovo fans feel attacked. Teed fans feel vindicated. And in the middle of it all, Kendrick has gone ghost again. But here's where it gets even crazier. 24 hours after the owl and the dagger drops, a new Instagram story from an old Drake affiliate, someone who used to be in the crew before falling out, leaks. A screenshot of an alleged group chat between Drake, Noah, 40 Shabib, and two other unnamed members. In the chat, someone writes, "We should have ended him in 2018 when we had the chance." Another replies, "Too late now. He went nuclear." And that's when fans realize, this ain't over. This is war. And just when everyone thought it couldn't get any deeper, an unexpected name steps into the arena. Someone has been quiet this whole time, but apparently has receipts of his own. And that's where things take a shocking turn. An unexpected name steps into the arena. Someone who's been quiet this whole time, but apparently has receipts of his own. His name. The WEEKND. Yeah, you heard that right. Abel Tisfaye. Toronto's own Ovo's former golden child. The man who once said he gave Drake half his album just to help take care of things. He's been keeping his distance from the drama, focusing on his own legacy, selling out stadiums, working on movies, and building a billionaire brand. But behind the scenes, turns out he's been watching everything unfold. And now he's ready to talk. It started with a cryptic tweet. It's just 3 words. He warned you. No names, no tags, but everyone knew exactly who he meant. The internet exploded. Fans started digging. Old interviews, deleted photos, even paparazzi footage of Drake and Abel back in the day, shoulder to shoulder like blood brothers. But then, the breakup happened. And Abel never really explained why. Until now, hours after his tweet, The Weak Die dropped a surprise track on SoundCloud under a secret alias. Fans caught it within minutes, and what they heard left jaws on the floor. The song, titled Silhouettes in the Snow, wasn't just a track. It was a confession. A beautifully dark, haunting ballad layered with sharp lyrics and whispered truths. In it, he talks about a brother who wore the crown but fed snakes in his garden. He hints at a deal that went bad, song that was stolen, and a silence he was paid to keep. And then, mid-verse, he drops a line that changed the whole game. Should've told Kendrick back in 16, you plotted on the king with a fake dream. Twitter went insane. Theorists and rap historians started connecting dots. Back in 2016, during the height of the Drake and Meek Mill beef, Kendrick had reportedly reached out to work with Abel on a joint track, Something Deep, political, revolutionary. But the collab never happened. Some said it was scheduling. Others said it was label politics. But now, fans believe Drake blocked it playing chess even then, afraid of what the two could have done together. But it wasn't just about music. Abel goes even deeper in the second verse, revealing that he had a falling out with Drake, not because of fame or women, but because of integrity. He says he once walked into a meeting and heard Drake mocking Kendrick behind closed doors, laughing at his message, calling him too black for the mainstream. Abel says he walked out and never looked at Drake the same again. The track ends with a distorted voicemail, Kendrick's voice. Calm, collected, but chilling. I told you. Silence don't mean weakness, it mean patience. And just like that, the Weeknd had officially picked a side. This wasn't just a two-man beef anymore. This was turning into a civil war within the culture. And guess who else had something to say? None other than Punch TDE's president and Kendrick's longtime mentor. He took to Instagram Live, where over 70,000 people tuned in to hear him speak. And he didn't hold back. This ain't no battle rap situation no more. This ain't just bars. This man, Drake, tried to erase Kendrick from the history books, from the inside, using labels, using executives. We kept quiet, thinking the music would speak. But y'all love drama, so here it is. Fans flooded the comments. This is deeper than rap. They really tried to erase him. Kendrick was fighting a silent war, but while Kendrick and his allies were taking over the narrative, Drake's camp was scrambling. A new wave of leaks hit the blog's old contracts, emails, and one particularly damning voice memo. The audio, allegedly recorded in 2018, featured Drake talking to a promoter about pulling Kendrick off a European festival lineup. His reason? He too hot right now. It's either him or me. Fans were stunned. It wasn't just competition. 'Twas sabotage. But then came a plot twist that nobody expected. An Instagram account under the name @Sophitas went live. Yes, that's Sophie. But not the one you think. Not Drake's baby mama. This was the same Sophie D that Kendrick mentioned in The Owl and the Dagger, the mystery woman from his past. The one Drake had supposedly promised to protect. She went live for 20 minutes. No filters, no tears. Just a cold, broken voice and a story that had the entire internet holding its breath. I met Drake in 2014. We were cool. I met Kendrick through him. They were like brothers. But something changed. Drake started asking questions about Kendrick. Personal stuff, family stuff. I didn't know why. I thought it was harmless. But then he started recording our calls. She pauses. The comments are flying. What? He did what? Say it louder. Yeah, he used me. Turned me into a spy. Told me he needed leverage just in case Kendrick ever forgot who really ran this. And I believed him. I didn't know any better. I thought they were friends. She says the guilt ate her alive. And when she saw Kendrick's film, she broke. He didn't even know what I did until now. I needed him to hear it from me. The live ends. Silence. Fans are shook. A narrative is forming, one way bigger than bars and disses. This wasn't a rap battle. This was a long, slow war. Strategic, quiet, and deadly. And now that the curtain was being pulled back, people were seeing a whole different side to the so-called nice guy of hip-hop. Even Charlemagne Tha God jumped in, posting a clip from The Breakfast Club where he said, "Yo, Kendrick just exposed a decade of manipulation. This is legacy-level warfare. And I don't think Drake got the stomach for what's coming next." And, oh, what was coming next? Because just as everyone was still reeling from Sophie's live, Kendrick went live himself, only for 2 minutes. No face, just a black screen. And his voice, "We ain't done. Y'all saw the dagger. Now you gone see the blade." And just like that, the live ended. A caption appeared. September 15th. The stage is set. What's happening on September 15th? No one knows, but rumors are swirling. A secret Kendrick album, a live performance, an expose. Some even say he's teaming up with J. Cole, who's been eerily quiet through all this, but was recently spotted in law, leaving the same studio Kendrick was rumored to be at. And if that's true, then Drake might be facing something he's never faced before. 2 kings, 1 target. And no more hiding. And that's where things go from heated to nuclear. September 15th. 3 simple words. But in the rap world, they echoed like a death sentence. Fans marked their calendars. Blogs went wild with theories. Some thought it was an album drop. Others thought it might be a public showdown. But no one really knew what Kendrick had planned until the billboard went up. On September 10th, right in the heart of Los Angeles. A black and white billboard appeared on Sunset Boulevard. No logos, no branding. It's just one chilling message. The blade cuts deeper. Underneath, a time, 8 p.m. PST. That was it. And the internet lost its mind. Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, every platform lit up. People were ready. Even the industry. Heavyweights were on edge. Executives were canceling meetings. Artists pushed back releases. Nobody wanted to compete with whatever Kendrick was about to do. Then came the twist. No one expected. On the morning of September 14th, just 1 day before the big reveal, Drake dropped a surprise Instagram post. No caption. Just a picture of him in a boxing ring, gloves on, sweat pouring. But the thing that stood out, on the back wall behind him, barely visible, was a list. A list of names. Crossed out Meek Mill, Pusha T, Kanye West, Common, and at the bottom, Kendrick Lamar. Not crossed out. The message was clear. Drake was telling the world he's still standing. Fans were split. Some saw it as a power move. Others said it was desperation. Either way, it added gasoline to the fire. But what happened on September 15th? Nobody nobody could have predicted it. 8 p.m. sharp. A live stream starts on Kendrick's website. No flashy intro. Just a black screen that slowly fades into a dimly lit room. There's a single chair. And then Kendrick walks in. No jewelry, no entourage. Just a folder in his hand. He sits down, looks straight into the camera, and starts talking. No beat, no background music. It's just him. He breaks down the last 10 years, the secrets, the politics, the silencing. How for years he was blackballed from playlists. How executives tried to box him in. How certain radio stations were told not to overplay Kendrick unless it's a hit. All while Drake flourished unchecked. Then he opens a folder. Inside. Documents, emails, receipts. And one by one, he starts showing them emails from festival organizers being told to drop Kendrick or risk losing OVO artists. Leaked meeting notes from 2017 discussing narrative control in hip-hop media. One memo in particular stands out, dated October 3, 2018, from a major streaming service, suggesting Kendrick's album was being soft-throttled due to internal conflicts. Kendrick stares at the screen. They said I was paranoid. They said it was all in my head. But the truth is, when you speak too loud, they either mute you. or market you. Then he leans forward. But I ain't for sale. The stream cuts to a montage footage of protests. Kids reciting Kendrick's lyrics in schools, moments from his Pulitzer Prize win, and clips of fans crying at his concerts dot over the visuals. His voice echoes. This was never about Drake. This was about the system. He just played his role in it. Smiling while the machine turned, I let it slide. But then he crossed the line. The stream ends with another teaser, to be continued, with voices. Then silence. Again. The internet explodes. Within minutes. YouTube reactors are breaking it down frame by frame. Is this the start of a documentary? Are more artists going to speak out? Did Kendrick just expose the whole industry? But the biggest shock came just hours later. J. Cole finally breaks his silence. On X, formerly Twitter, Cole drops a video titled Middle Child Revisited. The visuals show him walking through a museum of hip-hop greats Biggie, Pac, Nas, J, stopping at an empty frame. In the reflection, Kendrick's face. Cole starts rapping. Calm, precise, deadly. I stayed neutral, thinking I was wise, but watching snakes move with suits on. Opened my eyes. They turned kings to products, prophets to pawns. Now I see why Kendrick been at war all along. The verse ends with Cole saying one thing that sends shockwaves through the entire game. You're not alone no more, fam. It's time. Fans lose their minds. Cole and Kendrick after years of fan prayers and rumors are officially aligned. And that's when Drake snaps. The very next morning, Drake posts a long, emotionally charged video on his story. No filters, no editing. Just him in his backyard pacing. Y'all want the truth? Here it is. I've carried this game on my back for a decade. I broke records, opened doors, gave artists shine. And now y'all flipping on me like I'm the villain. That's not how this goes. He pauses, looks into the camera. Kendrick, Cole, Abel, y'all can team up all you want. But just remember, I built the house you living in. Don't get it twisted. The video goes viral instantly. Fans are arguing non-stop. Lines are drawn, OVO versus Teed, Toronto versus Compton. Legacy versus integrity, and just when the dust starts to settle, another leak drops, this time. It's a phone call allegedly between Drake and a major streaming exec. He refers to Kendrick as a disruptor who needs to be managed. Exec laughs. Then says, leave that to us. Sounds like a setup. And now people are really starting to question everything. Was Kendrick held back this whole time? Was the industry quietly protecting Drake while making Kendrick seem too intense for the mainstream? Was the game rigged? Even Academics, who's been Team Drake for years, goes live saying, yo, this is getting spooky. Like, it's not even about music anymore. It's power plays. If Kendrick got this much dirt, what else is out there? And how many people knew? The entire culture is spiraling. But Kendrick, silent. Cole. Back in the studio, Drake. Cornered. And then, out of nowhere, someone else decides it's time to speak. Not an artist, not a producer, but someone from Drake's own family. And what they say changes everything. Not an artist, not a producer, not a manager. Nah, this time. The person stepping forward was someone from inside Drake's own circle. Someone blood-related. Someone who's known him since before the fame, before the Grammys, before OVO even had a name. It was none other than Michelle Graham, Drake's cousin, on his mother's side. A woman who rarely speaks publicly. She don't do interviews. She don't chase clout. But she couldn't stay silent anymore. She went live from her verified account at midnight. No makeup, no glam. Just pain in her voice and truth in her eyes. I tried to stay out of it, she said, but the Kendrick stuff, it's the way they twisting the story. Nah, people need to know the truth. The chat was instantly flooded. Over 120,000 people joined the live. And what Michelle said had people's jaws on the floor. A lot of y'all don't know this, but Kendrick used to be around the family. Not often, not like best friends. But Drake respected him, admired him. There was a time when Drake really saw him as a peer, even a threat, but in a good way. Iron sharpens iron, right? But then ... something changed. She looked down, hesitating. Then she dropped it. In 2015, Drake found out something. Something personal. Something that shook him. And instead of handling it like a man, he kept it. Held it, used it. The chat exploded. What was it? She talking about the Sophie stuff? Don't hold back. Michelle leaned closer. I ain't gonna say what it was. That's for Kendrick to reveal if he ever wants to. But I'll say this. Drake crossed a line that year. And when Kendrick distanced himself, it wasn't ego. It was survival. It's paused. And then, when the beef started, Drake started playing dirty, leaking things, weaponizing the industry. Doing exactly what he always said he hated. Fans couldn't believe it. Even people who were diehard Drake supporters started switching sides. But then Michelle said the words that hit hardest. He ain't the same man anymore. The industry changed him. Fame changed him. And now he's losing control, and y'all are watching the mask crack in real time. With that, she ended the live. No promo, no tags, just raw truth. And that's when everything truly fell apart. That night, Vo's main producer, Noah 40 Shabib, the man who's been Drake's right hand for over a decade, unfollowed him on Instagram. Then a message appeared on his story. Loyalty ends when manipulation begins. Boom, the streets lost it. If 40 was breaking rank, the foundation of OVO was crumbling, then Drake wasn't just losing a battle, he was losing everything. And Kendrick, silent, still, focused. Rumors spread like wildfire. Kendrick gearing up for a final diss track, a joint project with Cole, a tell-all book. But instead of dropping another song, Kendrick did something even more powerful. He showed up on September 22nd. At a small venue in Oakland, Kendrick made a surprise appearance. At a grassroots hip-hop benefit show. No security, no press. Just him walking out on stage to stunned faces. And when he got on the mic, he didn't rap. Spoke. Don't let the machine fool you, he said. Don't let the numbers, the charts, the headlines, don't let that make you forget who you are. The game is rigged, but your soul ain't. He looked out into the crowd. This ain't about me and Drake anymore. This about truth. It's about standing up when the world wants you to sit down. And for every young artist watching, be careful who you trust. The room erupted. Clips of the speech went viral. Fans were calling it the most powerful moment of 2025. Even legends were chiming in. Nas tweeted, Kendrick speaking like Pac in 96. Missy Elliott posted, respect to the artists still moving with purpose. But the final nail. It came from Drake himself. After weeks of silence, pressure, and betrayal, Drake posted a black screen to his story. One sentence. Maybe it's time to step back. No context. No caption. Just that. And for the first time, people started to believe he might actually be done. Some say it's just a break. Others say it's guilt. But behind the scenes, sources say Drake canceled his upcoming shows, pulled out of brand deals, and even paused work on his next album. The Drake era is possibly over, and Kendrick, he didn't gloat, didn't celebrate. He just posted a photo of a closed notebook with one word. Underneath, peace. But the fans, they still ain't ready to let it go. People are demanding answers. They want the full story. They want to know who knew what, when they knew it, and what comes next. But one thing's for sure. This wasn't just beef. It was revelation that the masks are off. The truth is out. And hip-hop will never be the same. And just when it seemed like everything had settled, one final leak hit the blog's dot. A screenshot. A private message, allegedly from Kendrick to Drake. Short, simple. I told you, it wasn't about winning, it was about waking. Them up dot double quotes, boom, dot curtain drop dot. So now here we are, y'all. After weeks of silence, secrets, and soul-shaking revelations, the Drake versus Kendrick saga has officially shifted from beef to battlefield. This wasn't just about bars. This wasn't cloud chasing. This was a cultural reset. And whether you're riding with Kendrick, still loyal to Drake, or sitting back watching the empire crumble from a safe distance, one thing we all gotta admit: this drama changed the game forever. Kendrick played the long game. Silent moves, calculated, hits, real receipts. And when the smoke cleared, he didn't just expose Drake. He pulled back the curtain on the whole industry. And Drake, he went from calling the shots to calling timeout. But is it really over? 'Cause let's be honest, Drake ain't never been the type to stay down. He might be wounded, he might be bleeding, but we've seen him bounce back before. Could this silence just be a calm before a legendary comeback? Or is Kendrick really the one who closed the book on a decade of manipulation and media games? And what about Cole? It's the weak knee, even 40. Now that sides have been chosen and truths have been told, can any of these relationships ever be repaired? Yo, we want to hear from you. What's your take on this whole mess? Is Kendrick the hero the game needed? Did Drake get too cocky and lose control? Or is there another twist waiting just around the corner? Drop your thoughts in the comments, like this video if you was locked in, and hit that subscribe button if you want more real stories, fake tea, and everything in between. This is the channel where the culture speaks. We don't miss. We don't sugarcoat. And we definitely don't look away. Until next time, stay tuned, stay woke, and stay ready. 'Cause in this game, nobody's safe.